The rain tapped gently against the windows of HarborPoint Technologies as Daniel Brooks tightened the last screw on the back panel of a desktop computer. He wasn't supposed to be in the executive suite. Normally, Daniel worked in the basement IT workshop of the 23-story building in downtown Seattle, repairing everything from broken keyboards to stubborn printers. He liked it that way. Quiet. Predictable. As a 38-year-old single father raising his 10-year-old daughter, Emma, life already had enough surprises. But this Tuesday morning, one of those surprises came looking for him. The CEO's computer is down, his supervisor had said. Everyone else is tied up. Can you handle it? Daniel simply nodded. He never chased promotions or recognition. His goal was much simpler. Finish work. Pick up Emma from school. Help with homework. Cook dinner. Read together before bed. Repeat. It wasn't glamorous. But to Daniel, it was everything. When he entered the executive office, he expected polished furniture and expensive technology. He wasn't disappointed. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Seattle skyline. Modern artwork decorated the walls. Fresh flowers rested beside shelves filled with leadership books and family photographs. The office belonged to Victoria Hayes, founder and CEO of HarborPoint Technologies. Despite leading a company with over 2,000 employees, Victoria had a reputation unlike most executives. She knew employees by name. She attended company volunteer events. She quietly funded scholarships for employees' children. Still, Daniel had never spoken to her directly. Until today. "Thank you for coming so quickly," she said warmly. She wasn't wearing an intimidating power suit. Instead, she wore a simple cream-colored blazer and looked more tired than powerful. "My laptop froze during a board presentation." "No problem," Daniel replied. "I'll take a look." As Daniel worked, Victoria stepped out to answer a phone call. The frozen screen slowly came back to life. Programs reopened one by one. Email. Presentation slides. Calendar. Then, a photo viewer. Apparently, Windows had reopened the last file automatically. Daniel immediately looked away. He respected people's privacy. But before the application minimized itself, he caught a brief glimpse. A younger Victoria. Completely soaked in the rain. Laughing harder than anyone he'd ever seen. No makeup. Hair plastered across her face. Arms stretched toward the sky. She looked free. Nothing like the composed executive everyone knew. Just then Victoria returned. She noticed the image still visible before the screen finally minimized. She smiled sadly. "You saw it." Daniel immediately apologized. "I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to." "It's okay." She interrupted gently. "It pops up sometimes." There was an awkward silence. Then she surprised him. Looking directly into his eyes, she quietly asked, "Do you think I'm pretty?" Daniel blinked. It was probably the last question he expected from one of the city's most successful CEOs. He searched for the right words. Not because of her position, but because the question sounded heavier than appearance. It sounded like someone asking, "Am I still enough?" He answered carefully, "I think. You look happiest in that photo." Victoria stared at him. He continued, "That's what I noticed first. Not your face. The smile. The freedom." She looked down. Almost embarrassed. "Nobody has answered it that way." She walked toward the window. "You know when that picture was taken?" Daniel shook his head. 12 years ago. My husband took it." She smiled without looking back. "It started raining during a camping trip. I ran outside. He laughed because I looked ridiculous. She paused. He died 6 months later. The room became incredibly quiet. Daniel didn't know what to say. Sometimes silence is more respectful than advice. Victoria finally spoke again. Ever since then, I've wondered whether people only see the CEO, the money, the titles, the perfect appearance. Not me. Daniel slowly closed the laptop after finishing the repairs. It's fixed. She nodded. But neither of them moved. Finally Daniel said something unexpected. My wife passed away too. Victoria turned. He rarely spoke about it. Almost never. Emma was 3. I kept asking myself whether I was doing enough. Whether I was enough. He smiled softly. I finally realized something. Our kids. They don't remember perfect days. They remember how safe they felt. Victoria listened carefully. I think adults forget that. We spend years trying to impress people, instead of letting ourselves be known. Before Daniel left, Victoria thanked him again. But she seemed thoughtful. Like something inside her had shifted. Daniel assumed that would be the end of it. He couldn't have been more wrong. The following Monday, every employee received an unexpected email. Subject: Coffee with Victoria. Not a corporate meeting. Not a presentation. Simply coffee. Small groups of 8 employees. Every week. No agenda. Just conversation. People thought it was strange. Until they attended. Victoria asked about families. Dreams. Hobbies. Favorite childhood memories. People laughed more than they discussed quarterly goals. Morale quietly changed. Departments that barely interacted began working together naturally. Employees started feeling seen. Not managed. One afternoon Daniel was invited. Halfway through the conversation Victoria asked everyone. When was the last time you felt completely yourself? The room fell silent. Eventually stories emerged. Fishing trips. Painting classes. Playing piano. Coaching Little League. Gardening with grandparents. People realized how much of themselves they'd quietly left behind. After the meeting Victoria stopped Daniel. You started this. He looked confused. I fixed your computer. You reminded me that happiness shows before beauty. She smiled. I'd forgotten. Weeks later another surprise arrived. Harbor Point announced a new employee benefit. Flexible schedules for single parents. Emergency childcare assistance. Paid volunteer days with family members. Not because it looked good in company brochures. Because employees had shared their real lives. Daniel almost cried reading the announcement. Picking Emma up after school became easier. He no longer worried every time daycare closed unexpectedly. For the first time in years. Life felt manageable. Emma noticed. You smile more now. Daniel laughed. Do I? Yeah. You even sing while making pancakes. I do not. You absolutely do. She giggled. And you're terrible. Months passed. The company held its annual summer picnic. Instead of hiring expensive entertainment, Victoria suggested something different. Everyone brought photographs that captured a genuinely happy memory. No professional portraits. No awards. No vacations meant to impress social media. Just moments. Children covered in mud. Grandparents dancing. Camping trips. Backyard birthdays. Family dogs stealing hamburgers. Daniel brought one picture. Emma asleep on his shoulder after their first father-daughter road trip. His shirt was stained with melted ice cream. His hair looked ridiculous. But he'd never treasured a photograph more. When Victoria's turn came, she held up the rain photograph. The same one Daniel had accidentally seen. She told the entire company the story behind it. Then she shared something else. For years, I believed leadership meant appearing strong every moment. I was wrong. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with honesty. The audience applauded. Not because of a polished speech. Because it felt real. Afterwards, several employees approached her. Not to discuss business. To share their own stories. Divorce. Loss. Recovery. Parenthood. Dreams they'd abandoned. The conversations lasted long after the picnic ended. One evening Daniel was packing his tools when Victoria stopped by the IT department. "I have something for you." She handed him an envelope. Inside wasn't a bonus check. It wasn't a promotion. It was a handwritten note. "Thank you for answering the question I wasn't really asking." Attached was another photograph. Not the rainy one. A recent picture. Victoria volunteering at a community food garden with employees and their children. She wasn't posing. She was laughing. Hair messy. Hands covered in dirt. Exactly the same genuine smile. On the back she'd written, "I finally remembered that happiness isn't something people give us. It's something kindness helps us rediscover." Daniel folded the note carefully. It became one of his most treasured possessions. Years later Emma would ask her father about it. "Were you nervous meeting a CEO?" Daniel smiled. "A little." "What was she like?" He thought for a moment. "Human." Emma frowned. "Well, of course." He chuckled. "No. I mean, that's what I almost forgot. We see titles. We see expensive offices. We see successful people. But everyone, absolutely everyone, is carrying questions they rarely ask out loud." Emma looked thoughtful. "Like what?" Daniel answered quietly. "Am I enough? Do people really see me? Do I matter?" She squeezed his hand. "I see you." Daniel smiled. "And I see you too." Not every act of kindness changes the whole world. Most don't. Sometimes kindness is simply listening without interrupting. Answering the deeper question instead of the obvious one. Choosing honesty over flattery. Respect over assumptions. Presence over perfection. Daniel never imagined that repairing one computer would reshape an entire workplace. Victoria never imagined that one simple question would help her stop hiding behind success. Neither of them set out to change the other's life. They simply met each other with sincerity. And sometimes, that's how the most meaningful transformations begin. Because the people we admire aren't always looking for compliments. They're often hoping someone notices the person behind the title. And perhaps the greatest kindness we can offer anyone isn't telling them they're perfect. It's helping them remember they never had to be.